and we were in the water. We were in international water, and we just wanted to photograph what was there. And we were tailed by the Coast Guard and put under surveillance by Homeland Security.
Well,
and before we could even go out, we had a whole harbor of boats that wouldn't take us because of fear of Homeland Security.
And now,
Alex, isn't Homeland Security there supposed to be protecting us?
Yes, they are.
Then why are they striking fear into United States citizens, red, white, and blue people through and through, like me and you, and like a lot of these fishermen? Why are they spreading that type of fear to them?
Well, it's come out in Homeland Security documents that they wear the black uniforms to intimidate.
I don't know about all that, but you know what? I'm starting to call them the Gestapo. And that's some pretty strong words, Alex.
It is. Elaborate on that, Governor.
Well, to me, they seem to be some sort of security force that's getting control of everything in our country now, and they supersede anything else because they're federal. Much the same as the federales in Mexico.
Well, they've also been caught breaking the law, spying without warrants on American citizens, that even in non-terror-related cases, and they don't want you showing the public what you were showing because there's 36 of those they're building around the country, and it's not defensive, but I better be quiet at that.
No, and you're, what you're talking about is not what I'm talking about.
Oh, I knew you guys were working on that other thing.
We're working on all sorts of different stuff right now. We got 8 to 10 episodes to do, and I'm already working on 3 to 4 right now as we speak. Some days I'm doing this episode, other days I'm doing that one. But no, it's okay. Then I also found it very interesting. I went to a place where, Alex, for the mere infraction of trespassing, it's become a capital offense.
Really?
They can shoot and kill you for trespassing.
And that's a place out in the desert.
Well, there's no fences or anything. And if you make the mistake and cross this line out there, it's authorized. They can kill you without a trial or anything.
Governor, your phone was just breaking up. I hate to add to the conspiracy atmosphere, but repeat what you just said because your phone was breaking up.
I'm sorry. Well, the place that we were at has no fences or anything. It's marked, but there's nothing to stop anyone from going through, and lethal force is authorized. Now imagine if you're out in the desert and you're not paying attention and you're riding a dirt bike or something, and you pass by this particular boundary that's not very well marked, and they have the right to shoot you and kill you?
Because they say they have the right.
Well, it says that it's authorized, and that the federal law is listed underneath it. So apparently somewhere along the line, our Congress gave them the right to kill you for trespassing.
Well, I agree with you, Governor, just like Congress in the past said blacks weren't human.
You know? I mean, somewhere along the line that must have taken place because it's written on law when you read it.
Well, you've got Homeland Security all over you. You know, as part of my role, consulting some on the show, just with facts and information and research, I can't get an email to anybody all of a sudden.
You know, let me work on that. You know, I'll find out about that probably over the weekend and early next week. But, you know, I don't know if it's really that mysterious, Alex, or not. I'm not sure yet. But I just am appalled because, I mean, I was a governor. I'm a mayor. I served my country for 6 years in the Navy. I'm as patriotic as anybody could imagine, and it just seems like if you speak out now or question anything in this country, you will be treated like you're some adversary to the country.
Well, that's because the country's been seized by offshore banks that have been looting trillions of dollars from us, and Homeland Security and the military now work for them.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm not sure. You know, it's very well. How about the news in Afghanistan? Now I know why we're there.
Oh yes, the
lithium.
The lithium, and
oh yeah, the biggest. Now it becomes very clear to me why we're in Afghanistan.
Governor Jesse Ventura is our guest. Quick break. We're going to come back with him, get into Afghanistan, General Stanley McChrystal, and a little bit more about the TV show he's working on. This is really informative, exciting information. Well, Governor Jesse Ventura is our guest. He's the best-selling author of American Conspiracy. It's available at Infowars.com, along with his last bestseller at Infowars.com and the online video bookstore. This is a short segment, long segment coming up with Governor Jesse Ventura. I've got a bunch of Twitter questions I'm going to get to as well for the governor. But continuing, a lot of other things have happened with the TV show, but we'll just leave it at that because you're still working on a lot of these stories and don't want to alert the establishment to what you're doing. But before we get into Afghanistan, going back to you saying it appears Homeland Security's Gestapo, I mean, you are intensifying your view of these people. Why?
Well, because I find them, in my dealings with them, to be very uncooperative. They seem to use a lot of scare tactics. And, you know, excuse me, we're United States citizens. Our police and our whatever should not be out there and using those types of behavior. The bottom line is this, Alex. A few months ago, I signed a check for well into six figures to the United States government, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about. I paid my freaking taxes. Well, I'm sure it's the same in Austin, Texas, as it is in South Minneapolis. And that's this. When you're paying the money, doesn't that make you the boss?
That's our republic. That's our form of government.
No, I mean in life.
Yes.
If you're paying the money, that makes you the boss.
The customer's always right.
Well, I'm paying the money, and these people treat me like I'm some sort of criminal. I had one of them, quote, say to me, "You're not the governor anymore," with his back turned to me.
Wow.
Now, I found that completely disrespectful, and I found it outrageous that these people that I pay their salaries with my taxes, and they can speak and treat to me in that manner.
Oh, well, it's come out that Homeland Security is surveilling members of Congress. Same thing in England. They're using MI6 and MI5 to spy on members of Parliament. When a member of Parliament released the info, they SWAT-teamed his house in a, quote, search for intimidation. So the bureaucracy has just run wild.
Well, you know, I can't answer any of that, Alex, because I'm ignorant to it. All I can, you know, I live in Mexico half the year, but all I can say is that's the results that I've gotten since I've been back in the U.S., and it makes me want to go back to Mexico because even the federales aren't that bad.
Well, this is amazing. I sure wish you could tell people more, but they'll see it on the television transmission. When is that coming up? In the fall again?
Yeah, it should be. Just don't mark it in, don't put it in stone, but look for it around October. You know, just around, I think around October, hopefully.
And
That's
I guess
what
it's
I'm hoping for anyway. There's nothing, you know, I know no definitive time or anything at this point in time, but I would say mid through the fall that we'll be far enough along to where we can start airing another 8 to 10 episodes.
And it's too early to let people in on what some of the episodes are about?
No, I'll never do that.
Sure.
If I do that, they can have
I understand.
Of learning when everyone else does.
Same here. I know the shows, and I've got my mouth completely zipped. But this season is going to be even more hardcore than the last. I mean, I think that's fair to say.
Well, it might be. It's starting off with a lot more resistance than the first season did. And usually when you're getting more resistance, that means it could be more exciting.
What's the old World War II?
Put it this way, it's been more exciting for me so far.
But you're a fighter. I mean, that makes you only want to push harder.
Well, you know, I believe in my country, and I believe that the citizens of the country are supposed to be number one, and it seems that we're not anymore. And so, in light of that fact, I'll always fight to try to make it that the citizens are number one, because that's what I mind when they created the country.
We're going to go to break in a moment, and I do want to come back and get into Afghanistan and then the BP oil spill.
Oh, yeah, like I said, Alex, I now know why we're in Afghanistan. It's called lithium. That's what every computer, every cell phone, everything that our modern technology must have. It's as valuable as oil, and they've determined Afghanistan is the spot in the world that has it. That makes things way more clear to me as to why. The war on terror is a sidelight. That's the cannon fodder. That's the red herring.